Hi, I'm Whitney,
And I'm Brandon.
and we love to tell true crime stories, and we have a lot of opinions and absolutely no qualifications. Welcome to
Criminally Unqualified.
Today, I am bringing you a story. It starts with a disappearance. We have a partner who is like way too chill about the whole thing, and then the story just kind of snowballs from there. This is a wild one.
I love a good snowball.
Yeah, I go through all the range of emotions, or I did at least kind of researching this. It's wild. So I'm excited to bring you the story today. So this week's story is the murders of Diane, Stewart, and Helen Bailey.
I know it's going to be real because I saw when you were researching that you were tearing up a little bit. I
I
didn't see
was.
what she was researching. I just seen the emotion.
Oh, it was.
And so
Yeah, well,
I know it's going to be crazy.
it is a wild one.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that's what I'm bringing us. We'll see how funny this week's is. There's definitely a lot of things to talk about this week. It's a sad one, but it's a good story.
Right
So
on.
What
Yeah.
are you bringing to the podcast this week?
All right. So since you didn't know last episode?
Yeah.
You didn't know what hit a lick was.
Yeah, I've learned now, hit a lick.
That's right. Good on you for not saying hit the lick.
Well, that's because our friend called and ridiculed us as soon as she heard the episode. She
Mhm.
said I was screaming.
That's right. So I'm going to go, I looked up like a quiz. So I didn't curate this list on my own or anything.
And this, I'm assuming these are like terms you don't think I'm going to understand.
I think you'll get some of them.
Okay.
So what does gas mean?
Like I'm going to gas you up? Like hype you up?
No, just like that's gas.
Farts. I don't know.
All right, so there's two things. Gas is kind of like damn, that's gas. That's fire.
That's stupid.
Right? But
That's not real.
it is.
Okay.
Now it's most popular when referring to like weed. Like I
Oh.
smoke that gas. So like good
Oh, okay.
good ass shit, good ass weed.
Oh, all
kind of-
right. I'm going to ask you spelling bee style to use them in a sentence for me because that's not fair because gas you up, I was totally accurate.
I'm gonna gas you up. I guess so. It's
I'm
gas you up is the term, right? Gas you up versus
Okay.
this is gas
All right.
or whatever.
Okay. All right. I'm ready.
Anyway.
Feeling competitive. Go again.
All right.
Next one.
So what does chuggy mean?
Oh, it's like cringy, like old, outdated. So like I think
Oh, okay.
I knew only
Yeah.
because TikTok has led me to believe that all younger people probably think I'm chuggy because like I'm an older millennial and just inherently am chuggy. I
Chuggy's a
think
dumbass word. I think
I was
they're
gonna
like,
say it's
what's
so
the
stu-
opposite of bougie? Chuggy. Yeah. Anyway.
it's fucking stupid.
All right, let's speed through these.
Okay.
So if something slaps, it's
It's amazing. It hits.
yeah. What does drip mean?
It's like your swag, just like the stuff you're wearing, your drip look. I feel like Emmett always tells you like you have a good drip or something like that.
Like you're fashionable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Your
I'm
outfit looks
gonna make
good.
such a bad dad joke. My nose is running. I was gonna be like, meanwhile, I've got drip, comma post nasal. Is that sexy?
That post nasal drip.
That's so gross.
Oh. What does simp mean?
A simp?
Yeah.
Someone who like goes nuts to like do stuff for the other person that they like. So I don't know.
You're really close. It's like being too submissive to a woman.
Yeah, I think that's a stupid word and a stupid concept made up by probably people who also use the term alpha male, but that's fine. Whatever.
Say less.
It means like I already got you. Like say less, I'm already on board.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Look
You
at
had
you.
me at post nasal drip. Say less.
What does bet mean?
Okay, I use this one all the time, but now I gotta think about it. So bet is like I'm not gonna be wrong, or like just watch me, I'm right.
It's more like I'm down.
Okay.
Like bet. Like okay.
Well, like if you were like,
Like if somebody's like, you want to come? Like, oh, we're gonna go to the party at 6. You'd be like, bet.
oh, okay,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So. But you probably could use it in other ways.
In my
too.
head, it's like I take you up on that.
Yeah, and then vibing, I guess, is one. This is a stupid
This
quiz.
is okay. I say vibing on a daily basis.
I know.
but just like on the same frequency, like feeling it.
Relaxing or tapping into good feelings. It says.
Yeah.
I don't know. This wasn't a great list, but you did great. Did much better than last week. So.
Hit a lick is one I've never heard before at all,
Yeah.
and
Well, you hear it all the time in the music I listen to. So
I don't.
you do.
No,
I promise you, there's multiple songs that I've listened to.
I
that
would like
have
you to
said it.
please curate this list for me and cite your sources, please and
I
thank
will.
you.
I will. Listen, you listen to Jeezy. You know what's up.
He liked to drink. He liked to smoke. Jeezy liked to mix Arm & Hammer with his coke.
Oh.
Don't let me do impressions and rap anymore on this.
You didn't change your
please.
voice, so I'll give you a pass.
All right. All right. Well, I'll have to work on a quiz for
So
you
that-
for next week.
Yeah. Well, no, you don't have to.
No,
What are
I
you gonna-
have one.
Oh, you have one?
Yeah, I just need to like put it together, but I have a great idea for one. Midwestern themed.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I'm from the Midwest now.
I know.
See if I've adapted in the last 2-3 years.
Yeah, you have.
We'll see.
For the most part. Yep.
We'll
Okay.
see.
All
My
right.
driving's better than everyone, so
Unless you're eating ice cream, in which case you
fucking
forget
swerving.
how to. What is it?
I'm
It's
too
just.
focused on the goddamn ice cream.
I know.
It's more important than our safety.
It's not though.
It is. I can't. Listen, there's a lot of factors going on. I can't spill it on me. I'm trying to get it down my throat. Well,
You feel good about it?
I
All
regret
right.
saying that statement.
Yeah, no, you don't. Okay, I know. Last time we got ice cream, I had to hold it against the window away from you because I knew you wanted to grab that son of a bitch out of my hand and start going ham on it. I'm like, we live
did.
3 minutes away.
Listen, we live in a. Well, it's cold right now. My point is I want to get the ice cream while it's fresh, man. I'm not trying to have it all melted and shit.
Why didn't we get fucking blizzards?
I don't know.
Oh, God damn it. All right. Well, I don't have much to bring to you other than I think I'm running on fumes from this last week. We're doing a little house search. We just
Yeah.
think we're going to get a house, which is really exciting. She's a fixer-upper.
We're filming this one day before it goes live. So
Yeah,
we
we're
have to-
filming it the night before.
Have to edit and get it done. It's been a wild week.
It
so.
has. Worth it, though. I put on eyelashes with the last ounce of strength that I had. Is that how should I have used my energy? No, probably not. But
I'm not wearing any pants.
Are
I'm,
you?
I'm joking.
Oh, you are.
I am. I just thought it'd be funny to say.
I believed you.
I know you didn't.
All right. Well,
You watched me set it all up. I set this up every time. She watched me set it all up.
I know, but I'm not going to get into it. It's fine. I just wanted to check. You're cute. You have pants on. It's disappointing for me, but probably good for everyone else.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, nobody can see, so
Yeah.
it doesn't
Okay.
matter.
All right. So for our last few cases, I know we were in our DeLorean going back in time. We were in the 1800s, the 1950s, but now I'm taking us to pretty close to present time for this one.
Okay, the 1800s, 1900s, and now
The 2000s.
the 2000s.
Yes. Okay.
I don't know why I'm talking like that, but
I don't know. Just channeling your radio, inner radio DJ. Okay.
I was like a southerner.
What?
I was like 1900s, 2000s, the 20th. I'm stroking out.
Are you all right?
No.
It's been a long fucking week.
It's been long, man.
All right. To start us off, I'm going to tell you a little about Helen Bailey. All right.
Helen Bailey.
So Helen Bailey was born on August 2nd, 1964 in Pontyland, England.
Pontyland.
Pontyland.
You said Pontyland.
Well,
Pontyland.
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 Pontyland. Yep.
I got you.
I'm still probably saying it wrong, but I tried to spell it phonetically to remind myself.
Yes.
All right, so she grows up here. Upon graduating, she gets her degree in physiology, and she originally wanted to be a forensic scientist, which super cool. Sounds really smart.
I always wish I was like in the like police kind of field, like a forensic something.
Yeah.
Or like a detective would be real fucking cool.
It would. That would be such a sad job, but
Even a police officer, I'm just like, let me just be something where like every day's something different. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like I don't know. It
Yeah.
seems cool.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah.
So upon graduating and getting her degree, she begins doing research at a teaching hospital, but she ends up switching gears and she starts a career where she's working in campaigns for licensing and marketing on some popular cartoons like Garfield and Rugrats.
This is before she got her job.
No. So after she graduates, she first does some like research at a hospital, and then
okay.
she just kind of switches up in life what she's working on.
Changes paths.
Changes paths. And so in working on these campaigns for licensing and marketing, I think that means that she's finding ways to use like these characters in like commercials, different types of advertising,
Yeah.
things like that. So the Pickles family, Tommy Pickles. What was the little one's name? He had a brother at some point. Not important. Rugrats?
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know. I didn't even know he had a brother.
Yeah, at some point.
Hmm.
I don't know. Okay. So,
I was a Hey Arnold boy.
Hey Arnold was great. Real Monsters.
So many good ones.
I want to watch some old cartoons now. Okay. So, not completely sure on all the details. I think that sounds more fun, but this creative turn does kind of make sense for her. In a Wikipedia article I read, she was quoted as saying, "Whilst at school, I used to sit and stare out the window, dreaming of anything but lessons, then go home and write pages and pages in my diary of who did what to whom, and usually why I wasn't part of it." So I just picture her like with this creative soul, kind of staring out the window, just taking in like what she sees and making it like her own little world on her pages. And I think
Right.
that's amazing.
Yep.
All right. So eventually she meets John Sinfield, possibly through work, and they fall in love. And in 1996, they get married. And I didn't see.
What's his name?
John Sinfield.
Johnsonfield.
Sinfield.
Johnsonfield.
No, John space Sinfield.
Oh, do you think his parents knew what they were doing? Johnsonfield.
No,
John
maybe.
Sinfield.
Unless I'm saying it wrong, maybe it's Seinfeld, and then we're both wrong.
Oh, yeah.
His name is John, not Johnson, though.
John Sinfield.
John Sinfield.
Sinfield is his last name?
Yeah.
Oh, just Sinfield. I thought his middle name was Sin.
No.
I'm getting caught up on something that doesn't matter.
What is happening?
I just heard Johnson, and I'm like, what a weird first name.
It's because it's not his first name
It's
at
not.
all. At all. Okay.
It's John Sinfield.
Yes.
Nice pause on there.
There we go. So during their marriage, she begins to write, and eventually she becomes a successful author. So I love that we started in science, but like that little girl in her that loved to write.
Went into marketing and shit like that,
And
and
then just found, yeah.
she really did find her creative flow.
Yeah,
That's
I
gangster.
love that.
I love creativity.
Yeah, I do too. We're like someone who's like finally recognizing their dreams.
Mhm.
Like I think that's so cool.
And then being able to actually make a living off of it is next level.
I
Yeah.
agree. I
Real
agree.
gangster.
So she wrote a series of really popular young adult books based on this character called Electra Brown. And I'm pretty sure I've heard of Electra Brown. I don't know that I read any of those books. I probably was like a little bit older at that time.
Right.
But I think that's so cool. So she also wrote short stories, children's books, but she's having a lot of success.
Awesome.
And so on February of 2011, Helen and John take a vacation to Barbados. And so at this point, they've been married for 15 years and they've been together for 22 years.
God damn.
I know. So like, I love
She's
that.
got her life, her career
Yes.
path figured out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So in Barbados, while they're there, John is out swimming and he is caught by a riptide and he drowns.
Fuck.
I know. And so
Riptides are no joke.
no, he can't break free. And so, like, I have goosebumps now. But in an article I read on BBC News called Helen Bailey, A Life Shaped by Death, she was quoted as saying, "A wife at breakfast, but a widow by lunch." And this is the part that made me cry.
I know. I can tell you're about to tear up again.
I just think about like how you're my best friend. I love you so much. Like I can't imagine like what that must have felt like for her to have that just ripped away from her so fast. It's gonna make me cry again.
Yeah, especially, I mean, they were together for so long too, and it's got to be
just like you
devastating.
wake up thinking it's gonna be a normal day and then it's not.
the worst day of your life. Yeah.
Ugh.
It's terrible.
So buckle up. The story doesn't get better from here. But yeah, so really sad. So after John passes, Helen starts this blog called Planet Grief. So I think she kind of goes to like her place, which is writing.
Right.
And she starts documenting what it's like to be a widow now. And I think she has some humor in it, but some sadness. And that's just the way that she's talking about like adjusting to this new life.
Mm-hmm.
And she also ends up joining a grief support group online that's for widows and widowers. And so about 8 months after John passed, she forms a friendship with a widower in this group, and his name is Ian Stewart. And eventually they begin to date. And so she starts writing about him in her blog. She calls him the gorgeous gray-haired widower, or GGHW.
How long is this after?
That's about like 8 months after.
That's pretty fast.
Well,
I mean, obviously it's hard. Everyone's going to listen. People
Yeah.
are going to judge you. I just feel like that's so fast. Like you were just talking about how like we're best friends. If you pass, I don't think I can ever. I feel like I would never be able to date again.
yeah,
You know
I
what I
get
mean?
it. No, I get it. And well, so
And I get people like can't. Some people just like you have to move on and you can't lie down and die with that person and you got to live your life. But 8 months,
well, okay, here's the thing. So Ian's wife had also passed away, and so
they trauma bonded.
they trauma bonded probably. And so what I was saying, like, so I totally get what you're saying, and regardless, like, no judgment on people. They find love whenever. Like, I mean, we both came out of different situations, you know, and fell in love really fast too.
That's true. I guess you can't
you
stop
just
love sometimes.
sometimes
so.
right. But anyway, I was thinking they had both lost their spouses within like 6 months of each other, and so it probably felt great to have somebody to talk to and just like who understood what you were going through.
Yeah.
And so
That's true. I don't know what that's like. It still seems fast to me, but you're right. I don't know what that's like. Anyway.
It's hard to say. Everybody's different, but
Yeah.
so Ian's wife had passed away in June of 2010, and this was really traumatic too. He had found her collapsed on the floor, and she had apparently had an epileptic fit. And so Ian came home and found her. He calls 999, which is like the UK's version of 911.
Right.
And he's trying to give her CPR, but the medics couldn't save her. And so she passed away, with him. And so they had 2 boys together, Oliver and Jamie. And at the time of their mother's passing, Oliver was 15 and Jamie was 18. So, presumably a long marriage together for them also.
Right.
All right. So Helen and Ian, both some really traumatic pasts, but they find each other. And in 2012, they decide that they're going to move in to a new house together that they purchased along with Ian's sons.
What year is that in?
2012.
Oh, so a year later?
About a year later.
Yep.
And the house is in Royston, Hertfordshire. There are so many just like name, comma name in the UK things. And this is just because I'm a dumb American, but I'm like, what? Where? Just what?
Right.
Anyway, I'm just
sounds so different. Yep.
Okay, but this is super cool also. So their house has a name. It's Hertford Lodge, and it's a Victorian mansion, which
That's
sounds so fucking
fire.
dope. I know.
That sounds gas, bro.
No. Okay, but like how rich do you have to be to get a name for your house? Or like
Yeah, what was it called too?
it was called Hertford Lodge.
Hartford
I was trying to add a
Lodge.
shire at the end of it. Hertfordshire Lodge, but it's just Hartford Lodge.
Adding a shire at the end of anything makes it sound fancy too.
I mean, now zoom to the house we might get, which is like a little over 1,000 square feet fixer-upper. But I think we should still name it. So let's work on that.
Why not?
Something majestic.
We got a fucking roundabout driveway, so it's
We do.
fancy.
Well,
I don't give a fuck how big it is. That's fancy.
It is half asphalt, half concrete. Like we're gonna need to finish it all for it's I love it so much.
I didn't even realize that.
It is. It's like half and half.
It's half and half?
Yeah, our friend was like, that's a rich person driveway. And I was like, I mean, shape-wise, yes. Material-wise, no.
Listen, shape-wise is all that really matters, right?
Right, sure. But anyway, yes. So let's name it, and we should put a little sign out so our neighbors are like, who are these fucking dum-dums?
I'm down.
Okay, awesome. All right, also, they had a little weather vane on top in the shape of a dachshund, which I would like a Yorkie-shaped weather vane on top of the house for Lola.
What is a weather vane?
It's like a little spinny thing on top of the house. I think it tells you what direction the wind is blowing.
Oh, that's fucking cool. Let's get a giant dachshund.
We don't have a dachshund. Get a Yorkie.
I know we have a Yorkie, but a dachshund would be cool because it could be real fucking long and circular. Just like his ass starts where his face is. It just fucking spins. If that's what I'm picturing,
yes,
it being circular.
So theirs was a dachshund because they had a dachshund named...
Oh, theirs is a dachshund.
Yeah. Because theirs is a dachshund named Boris. They have a dog named Boris.
I'm already falling in love with him because I love dachshunds. My favorite dog.
Oh, so cute. Well, don't tell Lola that, but all right.
She's not listening.
That's true. Okay. So anyway, at some point they get engaged and she starts planning the wedding. So this is very exciting. Like they've had great chapters in their lives that changed kind of dramatically, tragically, but now they're in this new chapter where they're building a new life together, which amazing.
Right.
Okay. So they've been in the house about 3 years at this point. So now we're in 2016 and Helen is 52 and Ian is 55. And like the ages aren't really important, but as I was typing this, I was like, I didn't write that earlier. I probably ought to throw that in just for context.
Right.
Whatever. Okay.
I figured they were older because he's got kids that are 18.
Right.
And so, figured that.
All right. So now it is April 11th, 2016, and Helen has spent some time that day planning the wedding. She's searching for information online about this place where they want to have it.
Right.
And she sends an email to a friend. I'm not exactly sure what Ian's schedule was that day, but he wasn't working anymore. He had a bunch of nerve damage in his hands and had stopped working sometime in the 90s, which isn't like that important other than just to say like during the day he wasn't out of the house working.
Right.
He did have a doctor's appointment that day as like a follow-up to surgery. This is just an interesting note, but he had laparoscopic surgery, which is where like they make that little incision and then they stick like a camera in or a little robotic thing to like do some sutures or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, I think they did it on my ex. She had when her tubes ruptured.
Oh, yeah, probably. So they don't have to like cut them open as much. It's less invasive.
Yeah, she had little tiny scars. Almost pretty much non-existent.
Yeah, that was
almost.
probably totally it then.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the reason I called this out. So in the articles I read, they called it keyhole surgery, which I had never heard before, but
Makes perfect sense.
they basically turn your body into like a little keyhole.
They're lockpicking your guts.
Ew. I just thought that was a really fun name for it that I had never heard before.
It makes perfect sense though when you hear it.
Yes.
And that's a perfect a way to like explain it to somebody that didn't like if they didn't know what it was.
Now pretend your body's a door
And
and I want to open a key inside your body.
I just want to open the door. And
Okay.
my
your sounds less gross.
yeah. What do they use? Like I don't. Their little robotic arms.
I think so. Or like sometimes they're little cameras, I think.
My little camera is the key, and I'm sticking it in your body.
It sounds
your body's
gross
the
the
door.
more time we add more words to it.
Yeah, we're not doing a great job anymore.
Well.
It was there, and then it wasn't.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not doctors. All right. So Ian gets back from his doctor's appointment and Helen and Boris aren't there. It looks like they probably went for a walk, but they never come home. And so Ian's looking around and at some point he discovers a note that Helen left him that basically said she and Boris went to the vacation home in Kent and that she needed some space and they would be gone a few days.
Oh.
So that seems like a little bit weird to me. Like, you're not going to send a text or a fucking something, like, or we'll just wait till he gets home to be like, I just need some time.
Well, it depends. We don't know. I don't have any information on how he reacted in texts or
Yeah.
how their relationship acted. Was he hot-headed? Maybe a
Yeah.
text wasn't it. Maybe he sends a text and then it escalates the situation. Maybe she didn't. If that's what happened, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But just saying.
Yeah.
Maybe some people don't want to leave. You know what I mean?
Sure. I mean,
It is weird.
everybody's different. I think it seems a little bit weird. But like, there we go. Maybe that was normal for their relationship. Okay, so fast forward a few days, 4 days. It's now April 15th, 2016. Helen and Boris still have not returned from their vacation home. So Ian calls the police to report.
Also, she was a writer, so.
Typing is writing. What the fuck? She's a writer, but she can't type with her thumbs for a text to say.
Maybe she just likes to, you know what I mean? Maybe she always wrote little notes.
Okay.
I don't fucking know,
All
man.
right.
I always like to play. I love playing devil's advocate.
I like that
so,
you do that too. I don't agree with that one necessarily, but it's
Yeah.
a valid point. It's a point.
It's
a
a
valid
point.
point.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's been 4 days and they don't come back. And Ian calls the police and reports that Helen and Boris are missing. He might have just said Helen is missing, but in my opinion, he said Helen and Boris were missing.
Yeah.
Okay. And so so the police go to the vacation property. They don't see any sign of Helen and Boris. And I'm like, Ian, you didn't go to the property or did like
I would be fucking jetting over there. Although maybe he's respecting her. She said she needed some time.
he's going to respect her to not check on her, but call the police?
Well, here's the thing. I would instantly panic and send some texts. I'm
I would
sorry.
Too. Yes.
Is everything okay? What did I do? I'm sorry. Like, are you fine?
Same.
If you need the space, cool. But let me know.
Like, at least let me know you're okay. And like,
Let me know we're good.
yes, I agree. Like, I don't know. You and I also just communicate different. And we've agreed, like, if so, you know.
I think in any relationship, you would send a text at least. And then maybe not send a text. Like if she wrote the note, let's say, the person receiving that note in a relationship would text or try to call.
I agree. Or just say, like, I understand, take the time.
And
but
he didn't.
let me know you get there safe. Nothing.
He didn't go there. He didn't text her.
And maybe he did. So this was like a little bit hard to find some answers on. But so that's what I said. I'm like, did you try to call and she didn't answer? Did you text and she didn't answer? Did you drive up there? Did you have friends nearby? Like what? Or did you just say, like, I don't know where she is and send the police up? Regardless, 4 days, bruh, you're gone overnight and don't tell me what's going on. I'm freaking
You're gonna sit there and
out.
tell me that you're just like, oh, well, she said she needed some time. I'm gonna give her 4 days, and then what?
Well,
You wouldn't text before?
I think you at least have to respect or have some type of thing in the relationship where you're saying, like, I respect your space. Can we agree just to do a once a day check-in just to say I'm okay? You know what it is?
Maybe, or not even that.
Something.
I think, yes, that's a great point. I think at the very least, I respect your decision on wanting space, but can you let me know, like, what's going on?
Sure.
Or let me know that we're good, or just let me know that you made it there safely. Something.
Something.
Yeah.
Um.
Maybe I'm too attached.
Well, bruh, same here.
I don't know their relationship.
I think at least we know our communication style with each
Right.
other, and everybody's might be different. I think 4 days seems like way too fucking chill. I'd be so concerned.
Sweating.
Yes.
I'd be like, God damn.
I would be, first of all, I'd be thinking you were fucking kidnapped or something. All right. So police start searching for Helen and Boris, and they aren't able to find any trace of them or any clues. Now, one thing I think it's important to note is that family and friends said this didn't really sound like Helen. She hadn't ever done anything like this before. It didn't really sound like something she would do. Now, she was really I think Boris was like her little love. And so to me, it sounds like that she would leave with Boris makes sense. But the fact that she would just kind of ghost and not like tell anybody else, like it seemed weird.
Right.
All right, so police continue their investigation and they find something that are interesting that make them think Ian's looking a little suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Dude's got sauce on his shirt.
What does that mean? That wasn't on the quiz. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what it means, but it felt right in the moment.
Okay.
Dude's got sauce on his shirt. Like he's fucking...
He's been eating the pizza.
Yeah.
Of crime.
Pizza of crime.
All right. So remember the note that
I was
Helen...
thinking burger pizza. Burger? No, not burger pizza, just burger. Like a ketchup stain. He's been eating the burger of crime, not the pizza of crime.
Like this episode is one long episode of us both having a simultaneous stroke.
We are low on sleep and energy.
All right.
Deprived of everything but...
That's right. But caffeine.
But caffeine. Yeah, no caffeine. If anything, the opposite of caffeine.
God, are you all right?
I'm not okay.
All right, listen.
What is the opposite of caffeine?
Sleep, not uncaffeinated.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. All right, back to the story. All right, so remember that note that Helen left Ian? So police are like, they obviously want to see it. And so like, Ian, can we see like the letter so we can just take a look at what she wrote? And Ian's like, super awkward. I don't have it. I don't know where it is. I don't have the note to show you, but
bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Cops are like, that's interesting.
Bullshit. You don't keep the note?
You don't, yeah.
The note would be in the same place that it was for me. Because I would be fucking panicking.
Yes.
I would see the fucking note and I'm like, oh shit.
It's covered in my tear stains.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So police are also like, it is weird that Ian waited 4 days to report her missing. They also think that's a little sus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they asked him. Hey, we're going back in circles. I'm sure they asked him all the same shit that we mentioned earlier.
All right. So an article I read on the Cinemaholic website said, quote, moreover, considering the way he claimed they doted on one another, it was strange that he couldn't remember the color of her eyes, her phone number, or the address of their holiday home in Kent.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Rewind that shit.
Yes.
The color of her fucking eyes?
That's what I said.
Bro, what?
I know you and I both had bad memories about some things, but eyes?
Bro,
After 3 years, you don't know what color eyes she has?
Do you not look into this woman's eyes every day?
I don't know.
I don't know her eye color. What?
He's like blue brown, just like waiting to see if they nod yes or no. I don't know.
The only way I would accept an answer like that is if somebody was the type, like if you were super emo or goth or whatever and you had contacts in your eyes every single day, different colors, nonstop.
Whatever, you would know what color my eyes
I still
were.
think I would know, but if somebody wears contacts all the time and they're changing their eyes up, maybe then would I give you the benefit of the doubt. But even then, I feel like I still would know. Like I would know from the first week.
Right? It's weird. That doesn't look good.
I bet motherfuckers know their coworkers' eyes.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe. I don't know. With all this working remote, I probably couldn't tell you anybody's anymore.
Well, like when you, whatever.
In person, maybe. Yeah. All right.
That's
so,
fucking wild.
Police are also like, Ian, can we like take a peek at your cell just to see if anything came through or like take a look around the house? And Ian was like, hard pass. No, thank you.
Don't look through my phone or the house?
Or the house. Now, I don't know what the laws are in the UK. I know I've told you this a million times. I am a big proponent in the US of get a lawyer. Get a lawyer. That doesn't
I'm
mean
not
you
getting
can't
a lawyer.
help.
Listen,
Help and get your lawyer to
you've
help.
taught me well, and you've always said, like, if anything ever happens, just get a lawyer. You always said that. You say that in every crime show. Like, these dum-dums should be getting lawyers.
Right. Even if you're like, regardless, that is your right to get a lawyer. Get a fucking lawyer.
Mm-hmm. For me, I wouldn't get a lawyer. If you went missing, I don't think I would go through my mind. I would just be like, sure, here's my phone, here's this. And then if they started accusing me, then yes, of course. But like,
that's fair. I would do the same
like,
thing.
Nah, bro, you can't look through my phone.
Weird.
I get maybe not wanting to go through my house. Like, bro, you don't need to go through the house.
Why? Look for clues. Like, what if she left something behind or didn't? Or
I don't know. The house is weird.
I think, like, what did she leave? Her passport, her wallet, her purse?
You don't think he doesn't even know what the color of his fucking eyes.
So who knows? He's like, she has a wallet? I didn't know.
She's got a passport? What?
Seriously. All right. So while Helen is still...
What color is her hair? I don't know.
What color do you think it is? And I'll tell you if I think you're right.
Blonde.
Okay. So then... let's see.
I don't know why I gave you an actual color, but...
Well, I don't... That's fine. Okay. So while Helen is still missing... Ian is thinking, I am exhausted from all of this, like, looking about for Helen, like, Helen this, Helen that. I could use a little rest and relaxation.
Mm-hmm.
So
let's go on a vacation.
He does. He goes on a 2-week vacation to Spain.
It's hard on him.
It's really hard.
Poor
no one gets
Ian.
it.
Poor Ian.
Poor Ian. Yep, it's tough on him.
Poor little bitch boy. So sad. Doesn't even know the color of his wife's eyes, but he's like, I'm going to go take a vacation.
Actually, he was probably like, if I go to Spain and I look at other people's faces and their eyeballs, hear me out. This is for Helen. I can maybe see if that jogs my memory on her eye color.
No. I bet it wasn't a vacation. I bet Ian was like, oh my God, she's probably in Spain. I should probably go over there and go look for her.
Yep, that makes sense.
I guarantee it. That's what he was doing.
Well, it's very thoughtful of him.
Yeah.
Okay, also, there's like some money things. And no surprise, the Mary Cotton of it all.
That's why I figured life insurance.
So first thing, the day Helen goes missing, Ian goes to meet with a solicitor, which is what they call lawyers in England. And they are there to talk about selling one of the flats that Helen owns. And the lawyer's like, well, where's Helen? And Ian's like, she's not feeling great today. And so like she couldn't come.
Red flags, red flags, red flags.
I know, get the red flag guy.
Get him on here.
Okay. Oh,
this dude's a piece of shit.
Bruh. I wrote that so many times in this episode. And I was like, you got to stop writing it. So that's weird. So he actually tries to sell this flat twice after she goes missing by using power of attorney. And he's not able to. The first time
power of attorney meaning because he's her husband.
So now I think like to do power of attorney, you have to sign something. So I don't know what their situation was, but actually that time when he was meeting with the lawyer, he was trying to use power of attorney to be like, she can't be here. She doesn't feel good. But like I can do it. Just let me sell it.
I don't know the color of her eyes, but I'm down to sell her fucking properties.
I got the color of her signature memorized.
This douchebag.
Oh, he's such a douchebag. Okay, then on the day Helen disappeared, same day, he's a busy boy. He goes to the bank and he's like, bankers, you know how we have that thing set up where you give me $400 a month, like from our account? I'd love to up that. If we could up that to $4,000 a month.
I'm sorry, is this his allowance from her bank account?
I think so.
What the fuck?
Well, he hadn't been working.
Right, so she's paying him that's fucking wild.
It's £400, so whatever
and
that
translates.
translates.
You got the nerve to fucking murder this lady?
Well, we don't know. She's busy.
I don't know, but this dude's looking real sus.
Yeah, he's just the same day. He's like, while I'm out and about, like I can't sell the flat, but like bankers, if we could just...
Let me up that. Let me take a vacation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let me try to sell a couple flats.
Yes. Yes.
Mm.
So that doesn't look great either. So he's like, yes, nothing to see here. Totally normal. Please don't ask me any questions. Thank you very much. Oh, and one last thing. Guess who's the primary beneficiary for her will and insurance policy?
Of course, Ian boy.
It is. You got it right. It's Ian.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so if you guessed Ian, you would be correct. Her estate was estimated to be worth about 3.4 million pounds, and her life insurance policy was worth over 1.25 million pounds.
Did you convert that?
I didn't. I was lazy, and I was like, pounds and dollars are like kind of close.
Okay. That is fucking wild. I had thoughts and they went away.
Okay, that's all right. They'll come to you.
Continue.
All right, so on July 11th, 2016, police arrest Ian Stewart
Oh, how dumb do you have to be to like fucking be like, let me I don't know the story, but like if somebody goes missing, you don't instantly start trying to sell their shit off and also go to
Yes.
the bank and start fucking with finances.
Yes.
And also, how would you not be completely devastated? That's what's on your mind?
Right. I agree. You're not out constantly still looking every
Searching
day.
flyers.
He's
Bow,
not
bow,
working. What
bow,
else the
bow,
fuck does he
hanging
have to do? He doesn't have to take the dog out. The dog's missing too.
Yeah.
He has nothing else to do. I
Nothing.
guess he has some boys to take care of, but they're a little bit older now.
Hang the flyers up.
Go like look, call, search.
Post on Facebook. Fucking
Yes, not what he's doing.
no.
All right. So on July 11th, 2016, police arrest Ian Stewart. This is per Wikipedia, quote, with murder, perverting the course of justice, and preventing a lawful burial. However, police still have not found Helen or Boris.
And what evidence do they have on him?
Well, they have a lot of the stuff we've talked about. A lot of it's like circumstantial evidence. Like he can still be convicted, but it's just harder. So, luckily, a neighbor. Now, I read a couple things. I heard a neighbor or the former owner of the home. Someone told the police that, hey, did you guys know that underneath Helen and Ian's Victorian home, there is a cesspit? More specifically, it's underneath the garage.
A cesspit?
Yeah, do you know what that is?
It sounds awful.
It is awful. Okay, and then I went down a whole deep dive on this, so we're just going to take a slight detour because I found some interesting facts.
Turn the car left real quick.
Yeah, just real fast. Put the blinkers on. We'll be back on the road in a minute. Okay, so before everyone in the UK had sewage systems, there was like toilets developed over time, right? We had like the outhouse, or they'd call it a privy. And then at some point there were cesspits in Victorian homes. It was like a large a large hole that was dug into the ground. And some houses had like wooden chutes. So basically there would be like kind of a seat with a hole in it, and the waste would go through the chutes into the cesspit. What?
The jobbies.
What did we learn that on TikTok?
Jubies, jobbies. Yeah, TikTok. It's British for...
Oh, he was like, did you just drop a jobby or something? And I meant
Is it a jobby or a jubie?
I don't know.
It's one of those, and it's fucking...
Gross.
Keyword for turd.
Okay, well, anyway.
You just drop it, so that's where the jobbies go.
Or in some houses, they would go into like a pot, and then they would go carry the pot to the cesspit and dump it out.
Oh, so it's just fucking sewage.
It's just sewage. Okay, here, listen. Ugh. It gets even worse. Okay, so...
Ugh.
It was stinking, and so there was a job in Victorian times where they would hire men, even like young boys, and they were called night soil men.
Jobby haulers.
Basically, and they would go get like the waste out and take it away. And obviously they're not wearing like protective gear or anything. Yes. Also,
dirty fucking jobs, dude.
The worst job. The worst.
Maybe that's why they called it jobbies.
Again, no one's calling it jobbies in this. This is just what you heard on TikTok. But in my thing, no one's calling it that.
That's what the British call it.
Okay. Well, yes. Okay.
Just because you have a bunch of American reporters.
Possibly. Also, sometimes they called them gong farmers.
Oh.
That sounds so gross.
So nasty. Oh, that's an awful job.
Gong is derived from Old English, from gang, which means to go. And so basically it was...
To go.
Yeah.
Poop.
To get into the privy contents or night soil.
Gong farmers. Fuck.
That sounds like the most offensive insult to somebody.
You fucking gong farmer.
Sounds,
that's a new
That sounds like a hate crime. I don't like that. I don't like it.
It does sound a little bit hate, but it's not. It just means that you're a shitholer.
Yep, it sure does.
You fucking gong farmer.
I don't think it still sounds so bad.
All right, we'll cancel ourselves.
Yeah, okay. All right. So now, in more modern times, a cesspit is basically like a septic tank. And so here's the thing. I don't know if they had more of like a septic tank or if it was like an old timey pit in the house.
I'm just picturing a pit of shit and just like underneath just like a tar pit.
Yes. So I'm unclear what was actually under their house because it was old from Victorian times.
Right.
But regardless, the gist of it is the same and it's gross.
So the neighbor says, hey, they got this cesspit.
Under their house. Like, have you guys checked there? Did you know that existed? And police were like, we did not know that existed. Let's go check that out.
It's a great place to dump a body.
Yep. And so, so the neighbor lets them know. And on July 15th, so it's a few days after Ian is arrested, and just a little over 2 months after her disappearance, the remains of Helen and Boris are found in the septic tank under their home. Included with their remains was some white bedding and a dog toy.
Man.
I know. Just awful.
Terrible.
Awful, awful, awful. Okay, so I also read this chilling bit of information on the Wikipedia page. Helen's brother had once visited Helen and Ian at their home, and Helen had said, quote, Helen had joked that the cesspit in the garage was a good place to hide a body, and that the remark had been made in full earshot of Stewart, meaning Ian Stewart. And then I wrote,
fucking way.
what a piece of shit.
What a piece of shit. She
I have
joked
goosebumps
about
again.
it. That is fucking bonk.
I know.
That is wild, bro. The fact that you joke about it and then he
was
goes
like,
and fucking like, yeah, that is a great place to dump a body.
I
Here
know.
you fucking go.
All right, so
Awful.
So
awful.
I know. So Ian goes before the court and he pleads not guilty in October. And in January 2017, his trial begins for the murder of his fiancée, Helen Bailey.
Now, still, what evidence is there against him?
We're going to talk about it right now.
All right.
All right. So if you were already hating Ian, buckle up because it gets so much worse than what we've even talked about.
Mm-hmm.
So the jury hears all the stuff we've already talked about the late reporting of her, the missing note, the fact that he's the beneficiary, the increase in the money transfers.
Vacations.
The vacations.
Lack of knowing the color of the eyes.
I hope they said that. The thing that Helen had joked about the cesspit being a good place to hide the body. I said, I'm assuming the vacay to Spain, and they heard some new stuff. So, they also heard about the flat and him trying to use the power of attorney to sell it 2 times and failing.
And going to the bank, right? You already said that?
Yep.
Fucking scumbag.
So police also retrieved CCTV footage of Ian dumping a large white object, which may have been the bedding found with the remains. And it sounded like it was some type of comforter or duvet cover or something.
Right.
So they see him dumping this large white thing. Yep.
The neighbors?
They just said CCTV footage, so I don't know if this was someone's...
Oh, okay. Some sort of
some
Ring
camera.
doorbell or some shit.
Yep. Okay, so then an autopsy was performed on Helen, and the coroner hadn't found any broken bones or wounds, but they did find a drug called Zipaclone in her system, which is a medicine used to help you sleep. And guess who had a prescription for that medication?
Fucking shitbag.
Shitbag Ian. And per an article in The Guardian, quote, she became worried about feeling exhausted, telling her mother she had left her beloved dog behind on the beach in Broadstairs, where she had a holiday cottage. So she was so tired she left the dog there.
Well, he's fucking drugging her, and how long has he been drugging her for?
Just listen. Her internet history revealed the Google search, why do I keep falling asleep? It just breaks my heart.
That's so sad. She doesn't know what's wrong with her.
Right. And
and she's so in love with this dude that she doesn't suspect that she's being drugged. You
right.
have your full trust into your partner.
Yes.
That you don't think you're being drugged. I would never suspect you. You know what I mean? That's like if you were to drug me and I'm just like, man, I'm just feeling so out of it all the time. I would never in a million years.
I would never suspect you. You would just be like, what do you... It doesn't
what's
even
wrong
make
with
sense.
me? Fuck, do I have cancer? I would start going to the doctor. Yo, I'm just feeling...
Well, think about it. When I was tired because of a different medication I was taking for a while.
Yeah. You would always take naps in the afternoon.
Yeah, and stuff. And it was the medication I was prescribed and was taking it. My body did not like it. But never once did I think you were doing anything to me.
You would never... In a
never once.
In a relationship, you typically would never, ever suspect... somebody poisoning you.
And what's so fucked up too is she thought she found her new person and she had this new chapter. And I read stuff about people saying she felt so safe in her first marriage, and she wanted to feel safe again like that.
So she had her guards completely down. Yeah,
it's just
it's heartbreaking,
awful. And so I just said, I hate that she loved and she trusted him. She was planning their fucking wedding. And
giving this cocksucker an allowance.
And then per the prosecutors, this fucknut was drugging her and wanted her money. Actually, in fact, prosecutors had alleged he had been drugging her not only just that night, but over a period of time. And they think that while she was passed out from the drugs on April 11th, that he suffocated her. He suffocated her. Okay, so then I read some conflicting things. Some things said that maybe he suffocated her and threw her and they found her on a hardened piece of the cesspit. But other things said prosecutors suggested that maybe she was still alive when he threw her in there and she drowned.
So when you said suffocated her, I thought when she was asleep, he just threw her in the cesspit.
Yeah, which he might have. So
was he was trying to kill her?
Yeah, so
when he was drugging her and it just wasn't working, so he's like, well, let me just fucking...
I think he was getting away with things or doing things while he was drugging her, maybe taking money, or I'm not exactly sure, but...
having affairs or whatever, who knows?
I don't know. I didn't read anything about that, but maybe. It was a little light on details there, but there was one person's theory who I read who thought that maybe she was starting to figure out that he was drugging her.
Yeah.
And he was like,
need to take care of
maybe
this.
he was always planning to kill her, but was like, I have to start taking some action because she's going to figure it out.
Piece of shit.
I know. Okay, so wait, there's more. So while on trial, Ian has some breaking news to bring to everyone's attention. So according to Ian, he didn't say this before, but probably should have, that Helen was actually kidnapped.
Oh, no.
She was kidnapped that day.
Oh, no. And he...
Yeah. So let me tell you what happened, because
Poor Ian.
he's going to clean this all up for us.
Okay.
So he said that two guys named Nick and Joe kidnapped Helen for a ransom.
Hold the fuck on. Hold on. You're gonna fake a kidnapping and you're gonna come up with the names Nick and Joe.
He's like the Jonas Brothers.
It's like, yeah, it's
So I picture like, they're like, who did it? And then all of a sudden it's like, girl, you know you're beautiful. And he like quickly turns his phone ringer off that's playing it. And he's like, Nick and Joe. And Kevin, no, Kevin would never do that. Nick and Joe. It was Nick and Joe. I don't know their last names. Nick and Joe did it.
the most basic of like it just sounds made up.
Yes, agreed.
Not, I mean, it obviously is, but Nick and Joe, really?
Yep, I just...
Also, why would they give them... They would just give you your name. Hi, I'm Nick.
I'm
and
Joe.
I'm Joe.
We're here to kidnap your wife this evening.
Yeah, we're going to take her. Don't say anything to the police. If you get a...
Yeah, we are going to need $500,000 from you. Let's keep it like quiet so we don't have to hurt her. Like,
yeah. If they start trying to pin the murder on you, then maybe you can tell them our names.
Ugh. It is wild to
Or
me.
not the murder, but the kidnapping, her disappearance, whatever.
Yeah, I just like, where the fuck did that come from? All right, so the jury also thinks this story is bullshit. And in February of 2017, they find this motherfucker guilty. And he gets sentenced to 34 years to prison. He gets like life, but it's like at least 34 years.
34 to life.
Yep. All right, so there's some just even...
But he can't get out in 34 years.
I think he could, but at this point, he's going to be almost like 100 years old. So...
That's still bullshit.
Okay.
Still bullshit.
Well, we have more story to go. Just wait, there's more.
I'm here for it.
All right. So the night, there's just more to hate about him. There were so many details. I still didn't put everything in here, but I hit the most of them. All right. So like the night she went missing, he texted her XX, like kiss, kiss. He knew she was already dead. And
the night what?
That she went missing, he texted her XX.
Oh, so he did text.
Yes. Kiss, kiss.
Kiss, kiss.
But he knew she was dead.
So she went she texts, or she leaves a note saying, this is his story.
Yes.
She leaves a note saying, I need some space, and he just sends XX. Like, I'm just trying to think from his perspective, you're going to be like, yeah, she said she needed space, so I just sent her a kiss, kiss.
Yeah.
Nothing else?
Nothing. I don't know.
His whole setup is awful.
He's fucking stupid.
He's a dum-dum.
So one of the police officers, his name was Jerome Kent, was quoted as saying, "This was calculated and pre-planned. He set a date and put her in a cesspit where he knows every time he uses the facilities in the house, that's where it is going. It's an incredibly cruel and cynical way to dispose of someone you claim to love and were set to marry." And I just said, every paragraph I find myself wanting to type out how much I fucking hate Ian. Like,
yeah, it's dirty.
It's awful. So I love that there was justice for Helen here. She touched so many lives. All the articles had lovely quotes about her from a variety of people, talking about her humor, her compassion, how she was so brave, how she was so authentic and honest. And she clearly had like this broad and just beautiful impact on people. So that just like, what a legacy to leave. It's beautiful.
Right.
So that is not the end of our story, though. There's more.
Okay.
So back to shit stain Ian is what I wrote.
Shit stain Ian. I like how we're just fucking
hate him.
Calling him whatever, dude.
Oh, okay. So this is one thing to call out. So while everybody had lovely things to say about Helen, the quotes about Ian and all these things were fucking roasting him like neighbors. Okay, so you remember on TikTok when they'd show like a beautiful woman and they'd be like, oh, she's amazing. And they pan to like the boring ass dude and be like, and he's here. That's basically what all of these quotes were like. It was just like, she's amazing. And like, he was fucking here. Like,
this piece of shit.
No one seemed really impressed. And I will also say, while she called him her like gorgeous gray-haired widow or whatever, no, girl, you could do better, but it's okay. So people called him drippy, which I thought was also fun, not in a cool way, like gross. Just
I'm
gross.
sure it's an insult in
another
language.
So it was still English, but yes.
All right, another, yeah.
I know what you mean.
It's not slang for fucking cool
Yeah.
or fashionable.
Yes. Not on the quiz.
Not on the
All
quiz.
right. So police remember that Ian was previously married and his first wife had passed away. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I was going to fucking, hold on. I completely glazed over, but I was going to say like, fuck, did he kill, as you were telling me, did they go back and look at his other wife?
well, they sure do because they think at the time. So let me just kind of take you back through this.
Anaphylactic shock, right?
No, epileptic.
Epileptic.
An epileptic fit. So Ian's
Yeah.
first wife was named Diane Stewart, and there were some interesting
Which
discrepancies.
means allergies, right?
Epilepsy?
Oh, what is it?
Epilepsy. She had epilepsy.
Oh, okay.
So I think epilepsy has something
What is allergies again?
anaphylactic shock.
Anaphylactic,
You were
all
right.
right.
That's anaphylactic
Yeah.
shock. Yep. So if you recall, Ian said he found his wife Diane at home, collapsed on the ground. He called for assistance. He tried to do CPR, you
Right.
know, and it looks like she had died from her epilepsy, which she did have. So something interesting is her boys had said she had taken medicine like every day for their whole lives. And she had,
Fuck. Sorry, I'm going to cut you off. He was giving her sleep meds and hoping that she would crash or something.
oh, you think so?
I think so because I'm sure the way he did it with his last girlfriend made it seem like she just died on her own. I bet he was drugging her so like she would fucking fall or something or do right because she's like, I left my dog. I bet fucking she was driving all the time, and I bet he was just like, I'm gonna give her these meds and hopefully she falls asleep at the wheel or some other.
Yeah, but then that puts his boys in danger
Well,
potentially.
yeah.
That's a good theory, though, and I had not thought of that. Mainly
And I
because I know
bet-
exactly what happened.
I
But
bet as long as he was doing it, nothing kept happening. He's like, well, I just have to take action myself.
yeah,
I bet he wanted it to look natural.
yes,
I don't know.
yes, agree, 100% agree. So the boys had noted that she had taken 2 pills every day for like their entire lives. She took them every morning, and neither of them like remembered her ever having any type of episode. And that's different with different
This is
people.
his last wife.
His first wife, who he
Yeah.
has the 2 sons with.
Yeah.
Who were 15 and 18 when she passed. Now, some epilepsy is different for everybody. Some people do have seizures even when they're on medicine. Some
Right.
people, it sounds like that was not the case with her. Like it wasn't even like an occasional thing. She just, to their knowledge, didn't ever have fits.
Right.
So this is what Ian said happened that day. Ian said one of their sons had just passed his driving test and they wanted to celebrate. So Ian hopped in the car to go pick up some food, specifically pate and French bread. I just thought that was interesting because that's never something I would hop in the car to go get. But after he left, he realized like, oh, I'm such a ding dong. Like I left my wallet at home. So he turns the car around and he comes home and he finds his wife collapsed on the ground. So he calls 999. He tells the operator, I'm giving her CPR. But apparently, like, unfortunately, the paramedics weren't able to save her. The sons weren't home when it happened. But the youngest son, Oliver, was 15 when his mom passed. And he said when he saw her, she had foam at her mouth and he was able just to give her one last kiss.
Man, that's
That
so
part,
sad.
I know. So like my heart is just broken for these boys. Now, the boys had said their parents had a loving relationship and Ian was super torn up about his wife's death. One of the boys recalled like the paramedics having to console Ian and him being like very upset that his wife
Right.
had died. One of them did note that on the day that their mom passed, they had heard their parents using like raised voices with each other. But I don't know if they just couldn't hear what they were saying or like had forgotten what they were saying. But overall, it seems like the kids felt like their parents were in love and it was a good environment. Like, so if
Overall,
they
yeah.
were having problems, they definitely kept it away from the kids, which like I respect that.
They kept it low key.
Yeah. Or maybe they weren't really having a lot. Everybody argues sometimes, but maybe they weren't really having issues. But glad they left the kids out of it. All right. So after Ian's wife dies, he does purchase a red sports car, which some people think that's weird. Ian says,
Well, listen, if I'm sad, I'm blowing money.
yeah,
It helps depression.
I get it. I totally get it.
But weird after your wife just died again.
Well,
so.
so Ian says, listen, we had a car just like this and we sold it when we had our first boy, like our first kid.
Mhm.
And I always wanted to get it again. So I got it again. Like, all right.
Like, I'm sad. Let me fucking feel good for a minute. Yeah.
Okay, so
Temporary
like I can
happiness.
get that, and he definitely benefited financially from his wife's death. So he received an insurance policy and funds from her personal accounts. So in total, he got like about £100,000, which is a large amount. I would say like it's a large amount, but that's not something that's going to last you for your whole life if you have 2 kids to raise.
Yeah.
So I'm not a fan of Ian. I'm just saying if you didn't know anything about what happened with his second wife, this all seems reasonable to me.
Right.
Like not a red flag.
Yes.
Diane's sister also kept reaching out to Ian after her death because she wanted to visit and she wanted to talk to Ian about what happened. I think she thought something seemed suspicious, but I don't know why. And Ian kept refusing. So then Diane's sister and her husband are both like, we thought that was weird. Again, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't fucking like her or something. Not justifying him. He's a piece of shit. But I'm just saying, like, if I didn't know this other stuff, I don't think.
It all seems, there's no red flags popping off. I agree so far,
he
for
just
sure.
sounds at the worst like he's a dick, which, fine. Okay. However, the police decide they're going to reopen this case, but Diane had been cremated, which would have been lucky for Ian. But dum-dums stay dum-dums, and he had donated her brain to science. So they cremated everything but her brain. So we still have tissue left. And I'm not sure why he did that, if that was like her request or whatever reason. I'm assuming it was. But they did analysis of her brain tissue, and the results were in. Diane's cause of death was determined most likely to be due to something outside of her body causing restriction to her breathing. So either someone suffocating her, strangling her.
I bet he thought that, like, if he donates her body, it'll just...
Gone.
Gone.
What are they going to tell from her brain?
Yeah.
Which I'm going to be honest, I didn't guess. I never really thought about it either way, but...
Crazy how we can figure shit out like that. It's super fucking
yes.
cool. And wild that... So suffocation, very similar to...
Yes, right.
What's her Helen.
Yes, exactly. So in a BBC article I read, quote, Detective, I don't know what the SUPT is, superintendent maybe, Jerome Kent, who investigated both murders, revealed that when officers arrested Stewart, who by that time was serving a life sentence for the murder of Mrs. Stewart, the killer said, "Haven't you got anything better to do?" That fucking piece of shit.
Wow.
And I was
would
like,
love to just give him a solid right hook.
yes. Like, haven't you got anything better to do? Like, okay, well, first of all, it's the police. I think, getting justice is pretty much their main priority. So they nailed it. Yes. No, they don't have anything better to do. This was the thing.
We're going to fucking hit you with another life sentence, dickhead.
Yes. So in February of 2022, Ian is found guilty in the murder of his first wife and again is sentenced to a life sentence with a minimum of 35 years. So he's just going to rot in prison.
Oh, minimum. So that means he has to at least serve 35 years before he's even eligible for parole.
Yep.
Wow.
Which hopefully he'll be ding-dong dead by then.
Well, it's a wrap now when they get him for this one.
Yep. So, like, I'm so sad for her sons, but I'm so glad that they got justice because they probably would have never even known.
Had he never done anything with Helen?
Right.
Yeah, he would have been.
But he probably did that first murder and thought, I could do this again.
This chick's fucking loaded.
Yes, which is awful because she sounded,
she sounded amazing. She sounded so amazing. Like she probably was willing to give this guy anything that he wanted.
Right.
And you're just gonna take it from her for why?
For why? It makes no sense.
Nope.
So, yeah, that just took me through a lot of emotions. I feel like that's the saddest one we've done, but I had never heard of this case before, and I kept reading it, and I could not believe.
This is the one that you thought maybe I would know.
No, that's a different one. I'm going to do a different week. This is one I hadn't heard of, and I thought it was a great story to tell. I mean, the depravity of this dude is incredible.
Yeah.
Awful. He's so bad. I would never even.
It's deep. I don't think we laughed very much in this episode at all.
I know.
It was deep, heavy on me. My knees are sweating. I didn't even know my knees could sweat. Did you know your knees could sweat?
I did.
It was wild.
Listen, man.
My knees have never sweat.
I've been chubby for a minute. I am aware that your knees can sweat.
My knees have never sweated before, and they're sweating now.
Oh, I know. This was a rough one for sure. But all right. Well, I'll try to bring us something maybe a little bit lighter next week. But Yeah. In the meantime, if you're interested, I'd say look up more about the night soil boys and the gong farmers.
We don't say gong farmers anymore.
I like how we started it and we ended it.
That's right.
Progress? I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
Till next time, you
yeah.
gong farmers.
Oh, God. All right. Oh, what does Emmett call everybody? Scallywags.
Scallywags.
All right. See you later, scallywags. So,
Yeah.
again, I'm Whitney and this is Brandon. And thank you for listening.
And make sure to watch our YouTube for the full video or whatever. Also, check us out on TikTok where we have highlights from the episodes and all that.
Yeah. All
Anyway,
right.
we appreciate you.
Yeah, we appreciate you. Bye.
Peace.
And that's the show.